Hi gang!
What's up?
Happy Sunday. Look who's here. Jacob's here. Today we're going to be doing something that I've been thinking about doing for a long time. Pretty simple. We're doing a protein bar taste test.
What? Which is one here?
That's why Jacob's here, because we have very different tastes. So we only have five different brands, and that's because I did not want to overload you with a billion protein bars in one video. There's obviously more than 5 protein bar brands. I decided that it would be best if we just picked the 5 most popular. So today we're going to just be testing what I think are the 5 most common or most talked about. If you guys like this video and we get requests to do more, I will include more brands. The first way we're gonna be rating these on a scale of 1 to 5?
10. I think 10's true.
1 to 10?
But not 7.
You can't, but we can't use 7. Taste, texture, mouthfeel, etc., etc. That's all gonna be 1 score. And our second score is going to be macro breakdown. I'm sure we could have more categories, but I feel like those are the only 2 that matter.
Also, we should point out that we tried to get all the same flavors too. We weren't gonna try and make a crossed.
So all of the bars,
except for one,
minus this one,
which we'll explain later, are
peanut butter chocolate.
Do we need to take the phone away from Hank?
No, if you hear an annoying noise, it's Hank chewing a bone. I'm not gonna take it away from him because he's happy. We're gonna start with RX bar. These have been around for a long time, but I feel like they're more recently getting a little bit popular. Their whole shtick is that it's all real ingredients, no bullshit, says it on the package.
Wait, that's what that stands for?
What did you think it stood for? You're making fun of me.
Yes,
It's very simple ingredients. It's not a lot of ingredients. There's no weird chemicals or things you can't pronounce. I like that.
We kiss each other on the mouth.
It's a little melty because my car is hot. I need water. So, taste score.
6.
I'm gonna go 6.5 because I hate how chewy they are.
You know that really kind of like bitter dark chocolate taste it has?
It is more of a dark chocolate.
It almost has too much of that. I'm not against dark chocolate, but it's like a lot of that.
I do really like the flavor as far as chocolate and peanut butter goes because I feel like it tastes like real chocolate and real peanut butter as opposed to like that fake chocolate flavor you can get sometimes. But it was definitely more chocolate than peanut butter.
Yes.
They're chewy. They like get stuck in your teeth.
There's
and I'm not a fan.
There's a lot of teeth preening that happens after you have an RX bar.
That's what we get when we want stuff with real ingredients, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, macro breakdown. Now remember, these are supposed to be protein bars, right? I'm giving that a solid 3 out of 10 as far as a macro breakdown is concerned.
I don't know. I think as a macro breakdown, I can work with that. I'd give it like I'd give it an 8 macro breakdown, and I think it also gets extra points on the macro breakdown just through using real ingredients.
Fair, fair.
At the end of the day, it's something good, it's something real. If you're somebody who's trying to go for a more natural diet, these are kind of easy to grab and still fit that.
These are clean, so to speak.
Right.
The reason why I scored it so low is because it has almost twice as many carbs as protein and almost the same amount of fat. So when I want a protein bar, I'm probably looking for something that's not a lot of fat and not a lot of carbs, because for me, and I will say this, our scores are probably so different because Jacob usually will get more fat and more carbs in a day because he's a bigger human.
Yeah.
So for me, to have a bar with 22 grams of carbs, that's like almost an entire meal's worth of carbs for me, and I'm gonna be left hungry because I don't have any more room for other foods.
And like for me, that would be like 1/3 to 1/4
right.
for a meal. Okay, so if we're gonna put your 2 scores together, you had a 6.5 and a 3.
So that's a 9.5.
And I gave it an 8 and a 6.
14. 23.5 out of 40. Optimum Nutrition Protein Cake Bites. We use Optimum Nutrition as our protein powder and our casein powder and you know, all those supplements.
Hank is curious to try some of that.
Smells like peanut butter, huh? Chocolate will kill you.
I think it really does.
Slide it out. Wow, that's dense. Lots of peanut butter, little chocolate.
I'm going with chocolate.
Not the same texture as cake. 5?
5? It's being real tough today.
Here's the disclaimer. Jordan doesn't like sweet things.
Oh, this is true. This is why I'm here. I'd give that like a 9 for taste.
I mean, I love ice cream and donuts, but that's kind of the extent of my sweet tooth, is those two specific foods. So the reason why I gave it a 5 is because it's very sweet and tastes a little fake to me.
9.
Jacob says 9. So this is for all 3 cake bites.
So a lot more protein per carb and fat breakdown.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be a lot better.
I'm gonna give this probably an 8.
I will give it an 8 as well.
Because it's high in protein, so if you're looking for a protein bar, that's what you want.
30 out of 40.
The Optimum Nutrition Cake Bites get a total score of 30 points. Okay, next up, we've got the Clif protein bar. And the reason why I chose this was because I felt like it was a happy medium between the classic Clif bar and the Clif Builders bar. I feel like Clif is your, what's a nice way to say this?
Your
mass media go-to for healthy food.
Your layman's bar.
I think I'm gonna give it an 8.
I told myself I wouldn't do it, but I'm gonna give it a 7.
We're trying not to use 7 because 7 is a very easy go-to answer to just be like, it was fine.
The safe number where you don't hurt anybody's feelings.
Exactly, so we're trying to avoid 7, but you're gonna give it a 7.
I'm gonna give it a 7 just because, as she said, it's passable while still being middle of the road.
Okay.
For me.
I gave it an 8 because
it's not very sweet.
It's not very sweet. So it's a little bit of chocolate underneath, and then there's like the peanuts and whatever else is holding it together on top. So it wasn't too sweet, and it didn't taste fake. And I like the texture of it because it's a little bit crunchy.
I do like the texture of it. I felt the bar itself just, not that it wasn't sweet enough for me. That's not something I necessarily need in a protein bar, but it just kind of, something felt off to me about it. That's
I feel like you probably thought it was bland.
Yeah.
Okay, macro breakdown.
I give that like a 5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it
a lot of carbs.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
That's the most carbs or fat, isn't it?
Yeah, not the best.
For being a whey protein bar, specifically whey protein bar.
Yeah, the macro breakdown is not awesome. And I will say this, because I know someone's probably gonna point it out. We have chosen chocolate peanut butter, which is carbs and fats. So of course you're not gonna be able to get a super awesome macro breakdown, but I do think it's possible to have a good macro breakdown, even with that flavor, so. Next up, Quest bar. It looks dense.
From my experience, they usually are.
It's just that the whole way through. I'll show you the inside. So I'm gonna give that one a 3.
Yeah,
on
3.
flavor.
3.
I didn't like the texture.
Nope.
It's really dense, really heavy. The flavor is also very fake.
Even for me, I'm like, nah.
It didn't taste like chocolate or peanut butter.
Fake flavor. All right.
So we're both giving it a 3.
So overall, the macros are
It's
actually pretty good.
It's really similar to the Optimum Nutrition bites, huh? I think I'm gonna give this one an 8 as well.
I will, on macros, I will also give it an 8. I feel like I have to be fair.
So the macros are good. The flavor is not. If you're someone who can bypass less desirable flavor for a good macro breakdown because that's what's important to you and you just need to eat something, yep, that's an option for you.
So 11 overall for me, 11 overall for her, which makes 22.
Last but not least, Epic Bar. So these are a little bit different in that they are not chocolate peanut butter. Epic Bars are...
Jerky sludge.
Jacob likes to call it meat sludge. They are meat protein bars, which sounds very weird. It's much better than jerky, but a similar idea. So this flavor is bison with uncured bacon and cranberry. I'm not gonna lie, these don't look very appetizing.
No.
10 out of 10.
I will also give it a 10 out of 10 on flavor.
I like the texture, it's pretty light. It's not super dense. I love the flavor.
The cranberry is a good choice with the bison.
Cranberry with the bison is really yummy, but also it's not super sweet.
No.
And so for me, a savory person, this is an awesome option for a protein bar.
All right, 10 out of 10. Now it's time for the macro breakdown.
10 out of 10, all right.
Comparatively, the fat is a lot higher.
The fat is high, but that's because we chose one with bacon in it.
Yes.
But you can say the same thing about peanut butter. It's lower carb, same amount of fat, and a little bit lower protein. So I'm probably, I know we said we're avoiding 7, but I think I'm gonna give it a 7 because I just wish the protein was higher. I know that there are other flavors with higher protein, but I'm just scoring this one, so I'm gonna go with a 7 on macros.
For me, I'm gonna give it a 6, just because the fat content is so much higher. For me, I would have to have more than one of these, and I would quickly hit my fat threshold before I hit my carb or my protein threshold.
That's fair. There is a chicken one that I get a lot. That is like 12 grams of protein and like 1 gram of fat and 1 gram of carbs. So to me, that would be like a 10 out of 10 macro breakdown. It's just not the flavor we have today. So this is getting a total of 17 for me.
16 for me, which brings it to 33.
That's our protein bar taste test.
Our macro breakdown scores are very personalized to us.
They're subjective, for sure.
So obviously you're gonna have different numbers that you're gonna have to work with, and you might have different ways that you wanna separate it. So take that into consideration.
Here's my gripe about protein bars in general. Very often, it is a low to moderate amount of protein and a moderate to high amount of fat and carbs. And so it bothers me that when I'm looking for a protein snack, it's not a protein snack, it's a carb snack with protein in it. Because for me, even when I'm maintaining, I don't get a ton of carbs, I don't get a ton of fat, I'm a small person. But especially when I'm on a cut and then my fat and my carbs are even lower, if I'm on the go, I'm in a rush and I forgot a meal or I'm gone longer than I thought I would be and I just wanna run to the store and get a protein snack and not wreck my macros or take up a whole meal's worth of macros, it's very hard to find an option. And that's frustrating to me because there are shelves and shelves and shelves worth of things calling themselves protein bars. So,
Is that our conclusion?
I think that's all we got for you guys. Again, all of our opinions are our own, and our scores are pretty subjective. That's all we got for this protein bar taste test. If you guys like it, let us know. If you have a favorite protein bar, let us know. If we should do another one with more brands, let us know. If you hated it, don't tell me, it hurts my feelings. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. And nobody even asked for this, but I'm hoping that it helps some of you. Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. If you missed Wednesday's video, it actually came out on Thursday instead, and it is all about our brand new box that I do not own, but I am in love with. And if you want to check out other nutrition related things, you can use this playlist.